It's your wedding day, and the MC asks you to take the floor for your first dance. Get there, you freeze, you fumble, and you feel like a complete idiot in front of your family and friends. If this sounds like your worst nightmare, you're not alone.
It's true. In fact, you're one of the estimated 70% of couples out there who are absolutely terrified to do their wedding dance or to dance in other social settings.
But in this video, we're going to go over 3 things that you can learn right now at home that will help build your skills dancing together so that you don't feel like you're going to fumble or freeze on the dance floor. Experiencing these skills in a positive, graduated method will help build your experience and your confidence moving forwards.
So let's get started.
So the first skill that we want to talk to you guys about is music, or specifically musicality when you're dancing.
Yeah, so many people are afraid to dance because they just don't think they're going to be on time.
So what we're going to ask you to do is listen to one of your favorite pieces of music, or at least something that you think has a very clear beat to it.
Usually when we're trying to listen to music to stay on time, it's the percussion on the bottom, that underlying bass rhythm that you're going to listen to, not necessarily the lyrics or the melody of the song.
Exactly, so you're listening for drums, or you're listening for bass guitars, boom, 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 or even stand-up basses, something that's really quite low. And then from there, we can develop our understanding of the music. So with this piece of music, we're going to start with head bobbing, or just nodding up and down, yeah? So if we now listen to this piece of music, we're listening to the percussion, and we're going to now bob our heads up and down. It's gonna look like this. Yeah, so you can see Joel and Claire softly, please do it softly, don't hurt yourself doing this. But we're looking for that down, 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 and those are on the beat.
Yeah, do what comes natural. If you are a head bobber, you can bob your head. If you like to bend your knees, some people like that. Yeah. Some people like to tap their foot, so you can try that.
Exactly, or even now tap your leg with your hand. Yeah. So all of these different things with this piece of music, or your piece of music at home, yeah, will now start to get you in the groove and at least feel and move to the beat. Yeah. As you become a little bit more confident with this, stay with the same piece of music and then try walking on the spot. So if we demonstrate that, it would look like this. So we're just walking, and we're not worried about, is it my left foot or my right foot? But we're just trying to get now our legs and our feet involved in terms of weight transfer.
Yeah, because that's essentially what you're going to be doing when you're dancing.
Exactly.
Yeah, transferring your weight from foot to foot. And you want to see if you can do it on the beat.
Exactly. As you progress this more, yeah, and you get used to doing it on the spot, you could then start to walk down the street, down the hallway, around your room, and still listening to the music. So it would kind of look like this, and Claire and I will just kind of walk around in a circle. And we're just walking, not again worrying about dance technique or anything like that, but we're just thinking about the music and us moving in space.
So once you're able to move naturally to the beat, we can take it a little bit further and we can identify where there's a few differences in the beat. So for example, there's a typical boom chick that you hear in the beat, which we've done in a different video that goes into more detail. But generally speaking, there's a bass drum and a snare that goes boom chick, boom chick throughout the music, well, for certain songs anyways. And so pick one of those songs that has that boom chick, and then you can differentiate the beats between 1 and 2.
Exactly. So if again we just show that boom chick with this piece of music, it'll sound like this. Boom chick, chick, boom chick, boom chick. Yeah? And again, it might be a little bit different for the piece of music that you have. It might be faster, it might be a little bit slower. Maybe the chick is more of like a slap on of a guitar, or maybe it's a really strong cymbal crash, or whatever it may be. But if you can already start to understand that 2-beat pattern, that 2-beat pattern will be the basis for all more complicated dance moves and dance basics that you want to explore in the future.
Definitely. Some home-based patterns that we do will involve 2-beat patterns. Some home-based patterns will be 4 and even 8. So that's where you really want to be able to hear that boom and the chick.
Skill number 2 that we're going to go over is to do with our feet, and more specifically, walking.
We often say that if you can dance, if you can walk, you can dance.
But if you can dance, hopefully you can walk too.
True.
Exactly. So one thing that we want you guys to be able to be really clear about is that you can practice just walking in 3 different dimensions. Yeah. So if Clara and I are going to be now facing each other, we can walk forwards and backwards. Yeah. So the forwards is going to be the first dimension, backwards for Clara. So if we're just going to be walking, and then I can go backwards and Clara can go forwards. Yeah, and of course you don't have to do this with a partner. You can just do this by yourself right now as you're watching this video or after you watch this video and many more Joel and Claire videos, by the way.
Yeah, because when you're partner dancing, there is always one person walking forward and the other person walking backwards. So you do have to get used to walking backwards because we don't really do that in daily life.
Exactly. The 3rd dimension would be going sideways. So if we now go to our left, we're going side, and then we would go together and we continue to go side, together, and side, together. And we can now go in the opposite direction, which would be now side, together, side, together, side, together. Yeah.
And again, not something we usually do, so it's good to practice.
Exactly. Once you are confident doing that, and you don't really have to worry about, is it my left foot, is my right foot? Dancing will be so much easier for you, yeah? Because you already have the confidence that, oh yeah, I can go backwards, or I can go forwards, or I can go sideways. No big deal.
For us ladies, we are often doing the turns. So we have to add another dimension, which is circular walks. So walking in a circle.
So one thing that you can do is just use something like a foam roller or a bottle on the ground, and you can just practice actually just walking around that circular part.
And practice walking in both directions, because sometimes you'll be turning right and sometimes you'll be turning left.
Exactly. And one of the things that we always want our beginner dancers to learn is how to walk in a circle for the underarm turns, instead of thinking that they have to spin like a ballerina, which is something that is much more complicated and is not really necessary. So if we, for instance, take an example where I'm now dancing with Clara and I'm going to get her now to do an underarm turn, notice how I'm just getting her to walk for the underarm turn. Yeah, we're not asking or requiring Clara to be spinning and therefore possibly tripping on a wedding dress.
Yes, especially when you're in some kind of, formal attire with a long dress and heels. It's very easy to get tangled up and tripping over it if you're not walking forwards. So we always tell people you have to be walking forwards, not backwards when you're doing a turn.
Our 3rd skill that we want to share with you or work on with you actually is the idea of connection with your partner.
Yeah, a lot of people are scared to dance because they don't know what to do with their hands.
Exactly. So let's talk about hands for a second. One thing that we want you guys to be clear about when you take a nice simple 2-hand hold is that we are now with our hands perpendicular to each other and not parallel to each other.
Yeah, when we're parallel, it's really easy to slip off and lose the hold. And all you get really are those fingertips, which doesn't feel great.
Yeah, exactly. So instead of fingertips and parallel, we're going to have full fingers and perpendicular.
Yeah, okay? Which gives you a much better connection.
Exactly. Once we have that now solid connection, we can progress this into actually having physical movement connection. Okay, and so the next level will be, for instance, doing this little push and pull action. I am pushing Clara and I am pulling Clara.
And notice that the push and pull is very gentle.
It's not a shove and a yank.
Exactly.
Yeah, and if you notice, Clara is walking backwards, even though you can't see her feet right now, and she's moving forwards and moving backwards.
Just responding to the body movement and creating space or filling up the space.
Exactly. Also, when we're doing this, we are starting to build a connection of lead and follow. So if you notice, gentlemen, leads, I am leaning and using my body weight to communicate to Clara. Then I'm leaning and using my body weight to connect to Clara and give some new information.
And as always, as a follow, I'm responding to that body weight. I can see and feel the body weight come forward, so I react by going backwards.
Exactly.
And vice versa.
Yeah. Once you get these 2 concepts of using the hands in a nice connected position and then starting to connect our body weights, This is where you can start to develop ideas of opening up into different directions and start to pass and create different actions, and also now start to have a change in hand actions. So there is a nice slow progression that you can develop from a simple hand hold to more complicated ones where we're changing, and we're doing all sorts of fancy stuff.
But once you develop those skills on how to change the hands, it becomes much more natural, less awkward, and you don't have to worry about it so much.
These 3 tips are the cornerstones of what we do with all of our online students who go from total beginners to actually confident, joyful dancers who look forward to dancing at their weddings or any other social settings. If you'd like to learn more about our system, check out this free masterclass that we have put together that goes over our strategy, skills, and tips on what we do in our program and all of our students' success stories as well.
All the information for our masterclass is down in the description below, as well as a bunch of freebies that you need to check out.
And while you're looking down there, make sure you hit that like, the subscribe, and the notification bell so that you guys know when Joel and Clara post a new video, so that you guys are in the know and helped with your dancing.
Thanks for watching. Bye.